So I'm Magnus Gustafsson. I'm the CEO, owner and founder of Paul & Friends men's fashion store and fashion brand in Stockholm, Sweden. Well, at this point it will partly be our historical heritage, because we've been around for 30 years. But I mean, we didn't start like that. We were, let's say, the first ones to bring international men's fashion to Stockholm in the late 80s and all through the 90s and up to this day. Well, it's not a very easy question to answer, but I think that our men in Stockholm, are nowadays very much used to traveling, and they are picking up international trends, maybe more than in bigger cities. In Berlin, maybe people tend to stay there, but in Stockholm, if you want to get some input, you have to go traveling. So I think firstly, it is because our customers are traveling so much. They pick up things. Yes, it's funny that you say for men, because historically I've been working with women's fashion as well. But it has mostly changed for men, because 30 years ago the interest for men was very little. Men were not interested in fashion. Maybe they wanted quality clothing, or they wanted to look well dressed or elegant, but the actual fashion interest has come within the last 30 years. From a Stockholm perspective, maybe my company, Paul & Friends, has had something to do with it, because we brought interesting fashion here from the major fashion cities in Europe. But men are so much more fashion conscious now compared to 30 years ago, and I love it. Now it's allowed to express yourself and look more or less like you want to. Well, for instance, we started with Comme des Garçons en plus already in 1990 actually. It wasn't very well known, it wasn't a huge success neither, but it's one of the few companies that we have been working with constantly since we started. And now we carry more or less all their lines. They were actually our first Swedish brand, because as I have told you before, I had been criticized of carrying only international brands in our store. At that period we were carrying Gucci, Prada, Helmut Lang, Dolce & Gabbana, that kind of labels. And people asked Magnus, why are you not promoting Swedish fashion? I didn't have anything against Swedish fashion, it wasn't that. But there was nothing interesting enough. The Swedish ones that were on the market were either far too basic for us or only imitating the others. On came Acne, and they did something completely new. They had a look that they became famous for, and I loved it. And we've been constantly working with them and evolving together. But we are actually friends as well, and that's something that I love. And that's one thing I've learned during all these 30 years. I only do business with people that I like. I've had so many opportunities to make fantastic things, but maybe the gut feeling hasn't been there, and then I haven't done it. Right or wrong, I don't know, but at least I'm very happy. Ordus is, well, it's not the same story as Acne, but when they started with us, and actually you should make the interview with them concerning this, but they came to me before they had a collection and show it on sketches, And I wanted to encourage these guys. They were more or less students at that moment. But I believed in what they did, and I loved the fact that they were approaching jewelry from a men's point of view. All other companies, well, most of them at least, has done the other way around. They started with women's jewelry, and they want to evolve the business, and they add men. I love the fact that all blues were made especially for men. Well, last year, of course, it was a challenge for everyone in business in Europe, in Sweden. But the ones with a well-performing e-commerce, they have the possibility to survive. I'm so happy that we have invested a lot in our website. We have the Paul and Friends website. Of course, we ship all over the world, but without that one, I don't know how we would have survived the last 1.5 years. So that helped us a lot. And I'm really happy for that, because for my small company, I think that's the future. First of all, I would encourage this young person to do it. It is actually easier now than ever, because it's very easy as an unestablished person to reach out with the help of internet, Instagram, Facebook. It's easier to express yourself and to have a professional look. Before you had to make a proper fashion show, it's easier to make a presentation on Instagram than what it is to have a proper big show. So I think it's easier. And one thing that I, as a buyer, I appreciate a lot when a collection is not too big. You don't have to have everything. You don't need a full collection of everything. It's okay to be the best one in making jeans, in making a t-shirt, the best one for sunglasses. Like, for instance, we mentioned all blues, the best one in making men's jewelry. You don't have to have everything. It doesn't have to be a full collection. Of course, I understand that people want to evolve and add more and more and more. But why not start with something that's unique and that's your own, and reach out with that and grow from there? I was a little bit struggling with the thought that my company isn't that big. I was thinking, do you have to be big to be successful? And I saw all these small, interesting Italian fashion brands, family businesses that were just working generation after generation, but not really growing big, not taking the world. Is it okay just to be good? And I found out yes. You don't have to grow. You can still be better and better year after year. You can improve your product, your presentation. And I love that. So that's my goal now, to become better and better and better.